Okay, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're a new visitor of my channel, I am a over-the-road truck driver and I work for a company called Barr-Nunn. Before I start, I got my braces retightened and my voice is hoarse. So if I'm stuttering or whatever, it's one or the other because I'm struggling to talk, and I am going to try to not make this video too long. So before I start, people have been asking about my referral link. First of all, thank you for even requesting it. I put the referral link in all my videos now. It's in the description box and will be in the description box of this video. So this video will be about my 1-year review of Barr-Nunn. I officially been with Barr-Nunn for 1 whole year. And I am going to answer some questions people had. And I'm going to talk about some of my experience with Barr-Nunn. And then I'm going to talk about if I decide to continue to work for Barr-Nunn. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I have put in my 2 weeks notice with Barr-Nunn before because they were pissing me off. But let's start with the list. And let's start with the first thing on the list, and that is home time. People have been asking me about home time. There's a story about home time. So when it comes to home time, Barr-Nunn has different tiers. From what I heard, they have local positions. After talking to some drivers on their website, they have, home every week, out 2 weeks, 21/7. Basically what you have to do is you go on their website, you put in your zip code, and depending on how far you are from a terminal determines what your home time is going to be, and it's going to show you a list of home times that you qualify for. But before I even apply to a company, I talk to a recruiter because I know that I need 10 days off. I don't need 10 days off for the fun of it. I need it because there's stuff I actually have to do. So before I applied to Barr-Nunn, I contacted a recruiter and I told the recruiter, I'm not applying to the company unless you can agree that if I work for 10 days, if I work for 30 days, I can have 10 days off. The recruiter said yes. I said, okay. Now I will apply to Barr-Nunn. So for the first 8 months of working for Barr-Nunn, work 30 days, take 10 days off, over and over and over again for 8 months straight. Then my first dispatcher, for 4 months straight, 4 separate occasions, me and her were going back and forth, and she would call me on home time saying they don't want you gone for 10 days, that you can't have 10 days off. And I would tell her, me and my recruiter negotiated for this. Are you reneging on that? And she was like, let me call you back. Let me send an email, blah, blah, blah. And then she would say, yeah, it's fine. You can have 10 days off. I was like, okay. The first time I thought that was it. No more conversation. But she did it. She'd call me again about it, again about it, again about it. And I was like, my God, how many times are we going to talk about this? Like, why does it keep coming up? Last time, the 4th time, no more communication about it. She left me alone. Then I get another dispatcher. And that dispatcher did the same thing. The key thing, there's a bug in here. The key thing is they said, I don't know who they are. No one ever gave me a name or the department or nothing, but they said that you can't have 10 days off. By this time, I'm pissed because I'm tired of this coming up. You're pissing me off because you only bother me when I'm at home. When I'm working 4 or 5 weeks at a time, don't nobody call me about nothing. No one says nothing when I'm out on the road for 4 or 5 weeks. It's only when I'm at home y'all want to bother me. So in a nice professional way, I can't remember what I said word for word, but basically what I said was, me and my recruiter have an agreement. We negotiated 30 days for 10 days. If you're reneging on that, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice right now. So I'm going to let you contact whoever you want to contact. Tell them this is my decision, that I will be putting in my 2 weeks notice if it is ever brought up to me again. If anyone ever brings it up to me again, if anyone ever says that can't do 10 days or whatever, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice right now. I am going to give you a chance to let these people know, whoever they are, and get back with me. If you get back with me and they tell me they don't like it or whatever, or if it's brought up to me again, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. In less than 5 minutes, he says it will never be brought up again. It hasn't been brought up so far. But yeah, I was like, I'm done. Don't bring it up to me no more. I negotiated with my recruiter. I talked to my recruiter about it. I did all this before I even applied to Barr-Nunn. Why did y'all accept my application if it was going to be an issue later on down the road? So if they bring it up again, I'm quitting. Because this will be 5th or 6th time they telling me they don't like it. But they only don't like it when I'm at home. They love it when I'm working and making the money. I just don't get it. I don't know. But yeah, that's when I almost quit Barr-Nunn. Whew, they getting on my nerves with that. 6 times. God. But yeah, that's my only advice when it comes to home time. I don't really, people were asking about home time, but my only advice is, if you're someone like me and you know you need more days off than what they offer, you can negotiate. I negotiated. They don't like it. But my only advice is, make sure when you talk to your recruiter and you come up to a agreement, make sure your recruiter sends you something in writing. Make sure they send you an email, a text message. Save what you talked about on the driver pulse out, because they use a driver pulse out to communicate sometimes. Just save and document, because baby, they will renege. They will renege. But that's the only reason why am able to continue doing it, because I have the backup, my recruiter said. But anyway, like I said, they said they'll leave me alone now. But I think that was the only time when I was about to quit the company, because you're getting on my nerves at this point. The 6th time they were getting on my nerves. But since we're kind of talking about dispatchers, I've been through 3 dispatchers in 1 year, which isn't too bad, because when I was with USA Truck, I went through 8 dispatchers in 1 year. They were either getting fired or they were quitting. So I say 3 dispatchers in 1 year is pretty good. So my first dispatcher, I had to call HR on her. I'm not going to go too deep on it. But basically, she had a type A personality. She played a lot of games, and she lied a lot. That's all I'm going to say. And I reported her to HR, and they gave me a new dispatcher. The second dispatcher was the dispatcher that was giving me them 3,000-mile loads. He was a chill guy. He was the type of person, you could tell he didn't take the job too seriously, which I like working for people like that, because I don't take a job too seriously. A job is a job. It ain't that deep. So basically, he would just send me the loads. I would do them. Really wouldn't talk to him. Love it. Only downside was he got a promotion. I was like, dang, no. I was like, I just got used to you. This third dispatcher, I haven't even had him for a week. I haven't even spoke to him, to be honest. We'll see how it goes. Knock on wood. Hopefully he ain't too bad. But I noticed that usually men are more, who don't take their job too seriously, are better to work for or work with. So I'm hoping that this guy was chill like the other guy. We'll see. I'll let you know. You know I will. So the next thing on the list is that something that I noticed, I haven't looked up to know for sure, but what I've noticed is that you do get raises at Barr-Nunn. Let me take a sip of water because my voice, my God. Ooh, that hurt. Okay. Ooh, maybe I was dehydrated. My voice sounds a little better now. Nope, it just went back out. Okay. I noticed that every 40,000 miles, you get raises. I've gotten a raise twice in 1 year. It's a 0.5 cent raise. Something is better than nothing. A lot of these companies don't give you no raises. Now, I didn't look it up. I don't know if it's forever. Every 40,000 miles you get raises. I didn't look it up. But I noticed every 40,000 miles I would get a raise. And pretty soon it's going to be another 40,000 miles. So if I do another video, I'll let you know if I get another one. But it's a 0.5 cent raise. So now I'm making 70 cents a mile. So yeah. I think I touched on, I don't know if I brought it up or not, but you also get $100 every anniversary. So I got $100 for being here for a year. Another thing was people were asking about truck speed. So they have 2 trucks. They have Freightliner and Kenworth. I've been in both. The Freightliner, 65 miles per hour. Pass Smart, 68 for 30 minutes. But their Kenworth only goes 66 miles per hour. There is no 68 nothing. Who is that? Okay. Sorry. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. One of the workers was coming up to my truck real slow, and he scared the mess up out of me. First I'm like, do I have my doors locked? I was like, I didn't know who it was. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this video. I don't have much more to talk about. There's just a little bit left on the list. I think I left off talking about truck speed. The Freightliner goes 65, 68 for 30 minutes. Kenworth goes 66. The reason why I chose the Kenworth was mainly the freezer is bigger compared to the Freightliner's freezer, so I can hold more stuff in it. So, you know, putting more food and stuff in the refrigerator saves me money. I'm not spending money on the road. Also, you can idle the truck in a Kenworth, and I need my AC, I need my heat. I ain't got time for it. Idle shutdown and all that stuff. So, just know, if you plan on coming to Barr-Nunn, if you need speed, even if it's just for 30 minutes, you might as well get in a Freightliner. I don't know, I might get in a Freightliner next time I switch trucks, because that little 68 be helping, because people, it'll be 70 miles per hour, the speed limit. I'll be going like 64 on cruise. People will drop down to like 60 or 50 something miles per hour, and when I try to pass them, that's when they want to speed up. But who can I pass going 66? And I didn't realize how helpful that Pass Smart was. But anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about was people were asking me about driving in the East Coast, and I don't really have much to say about that other than I just do it. My mentality is like, my job is to move freight from point A to point B. In exchange, you pay me. You pay me good enough to where I can pay my bills, save some money, and maybe take a vacation. I'll go wherever you want me to go, as long as it ain't New York City. I did that twice, and twice was too much, to be honest. But someone was asking about driving in the mountains. I don't know exactly what they meant by that. You just drive in mountains, I don't know. I will say that the loads are light. I have not had a load that was over 30,000 pounds. Typically, on average, my loads are 15,000 pounds or less. Like 98% of the time. If you pass by one of the Barr-Nunn terminals, you will see that all the tandems are slid forward because the loads are so light. There's no need to slide the tandems back at all. Like, all the trailers, tandems are for it. But it does make driving in the mountains and the hills and valleys and all that, it makes it easier. Only time there's a downside is high winds. That trailer be blowing. Also, people were asking me about driving in snow in that area. You're not really going to be driving in snow. There's a couple things that I noticed. For one, let's say, for example, Pennsylvania, that area has a blizzard or something. They will have you, all the drivers, mainly in more of the southern states like Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, they'll have you in all those states where the weather is good. And when that front starts to move down south, they'll move us away from the bad weather, so you don't really drive in bad weather. Another thing is they have something called mandatory shutdown. There was a couple of times I was in Illinois and there was some bad weather, some snow coming through, some ice, and they made it so there was a mandatory shutdown put in place and nobody was allowed to drive. One time I was at a laser ship in Illinois and they have overnight parking. It was like me and 20 Barr-Nunn drivers. We were just there waiting for the shutdown to be lifted, because for me, I had a load going to Tennessee. I think you take, what, 71 or 77, I can't remember right now, going south. And it was 70 degrees in Tennessee. I was like, if you just let me take this load, I can just drive and get to the warm weather. Like, I have no problem taking the load. They're like, nope, mandatory shutdown. And me and a lot of those drivers, like, we'll take it. Like, we were all going to places where the weather was better, but so they will make it so that you don't really have to worry about all that. And plus, when your load gets canceled, my load had got canceled, you get paid like $190, $200 for one of those loads to get canceled. So I got some money from it. But they really put you in situations where you don't really have to worry about bad weather. They'll put you in a situation where you're avoiding it, or they'll tell you you're shutting down. Even if you're like an hour away from your delivery, they will tell you find some place to park, don't worry about delivering, shut down now. So if that's a fear for some people, it's not really something you have to too much worry about, to be honest. And they'll let you know if you don't feel safe driving, let us know ahead of time, and you don't have to worry about the load. So if that's something that you're fearing, if you're like thinking about Barr-Nunn and your issue is snow or the mountains or whatever, it's not something you really have to worry about too much. And last and least, another thing someone had asked about was detention pay. You get detention pay after 60 minutes. The thing is, you ain't ever going to get it because 99% of the loads are dropping hook. And when you do a live load, you are never sitting that long to where you will ever get it'll be in and out. The place that I was just at, it took them 20 minutes to unload a fully loaded trailer. As soon as the light turned green, I started looking at videos on my phone. Next thing I know, I got a knock on my door. I was like, geez. So I don't know how much Barr-Nunn are charging them for making sure we don't get stuck there for too long, but it must be a lot to where they don't let us sit for more than 60 minutes. I don't even know how much detention pay is because I don't ever get it. I'm never at a location that long. But yeah, that's all I have on my list. So as far as me still working for Barr-Nunn, as of right now, I think pretty much I'm just going to stick with the company. I have some future goals, and I plan on sticking with a job, fingers crossed, for at least another 8 years because I'm trying to save for retirement. And Barr-Nunn, they're paying me, plus with their 401k match, they're paying me enough to where in 8 years I think I'll be able to retire. And someone mentioned, like, when I did my pay stub video, not someone, many people mention, oh, your taxes, they're taking all the tax. It's not taxes, it's my 401k. I'm putting that money away. I ain't trying to work forever, but yeah, y'all should be thinking about that stuff, especially if you're in your 30s, almost 40. You should be thinking about retirement. And Barr-Nunn, to be honest, is a decent company to retire from. I would not be here if it wasn't. But yeah, I'm still with Barr-Nunn. Probably gonna stick with Barr-Nunn. If things keep going the way they're going, I'm probably gonna be here for another 8 years, because my goals are important and they are helping me achieve my financial goals. I am curious because Barr-Nunn, on their website, they advertise you can make $100,000 a year. I think what, 5 months? In 5 months it'll be a year. The end of this year, I think in 5 months I'm going to do another video to reveal how much I made for a full year at Barr-Nunn, because I started in the end or the middle of last year and then part of this year. So the full calendar year, I'll do a reveal on how much I made at Barr-Nunn 1 full year, to see if it's possible. Can you actually make 6 figures at Barr-Nunn? I feel like I should, if you can, I should be able to reach that, because I'm working 4 or 5 weeks at a time. So if you want to see that video, if I made 6 figures working at Barr-Nunn, put that in the comments and I will do that video the end of the year. And if you're new to my channel or watching my videos, just so you know, I don't make random videos. I only make requested videos. So if you subscribe and you comment, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments, then I will make a video. But I don't just make random videos. I only do videos that people request. So that is all. I am going to go to sleep, and that's all she wrote. Bye.